There's no question that AI has the ability to completely change and alter filmmaking as we know it. And there's a huge debate in the filmmaking community on whether or not it's ethical to use AI in your filmmaking, or just to even use AI to generate images or video. However, I believe that there is a way to not only ethically use AI, but use it in a way that's effective and that can help independent filmmakers get way more out of whatever project they're making, without it doing everything for you and completely squeeze the soul out of your work, and without robbing the other creators of their work. Today we're going to use real examples of how I use AI on my recent short film, Last Detective, break down my process, and show you guys some really cool ideas of how you could use AI to actually make real films. It really does feel like every single day there's a new AI platform or a new AI app that emerges. The one that I have been using for the last few months now has been something called LTX Studio. And there's several ways that you guys can use this platform, and you could use it to help you concept your films. They also have ways that you guys can create images and videos and a bunch of other assets that can help you tell stories. But I'll get into that in a second. So let's start off by opening up LTX Studio over here. Now, right from the top, it's gonna ask you whether or not you wanna do an AI guided storyboard or you wanna do a blank storyboard. I'm gonna go with the AI guided storyboard. Then from here, you can start to build out your concept. Now, LTX has this really awesome feature. It's an AI storytelling assistant where you put in the idea or the concept of your story, and it helps you flesh out the idea, and it kind of embellishes your idea for you. Or, which is what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go stick to the script. Now, when you do stick to the script, if you have a finalized script, you can go ahead, copy it, paste it in here, or you could even upload the text down here. The next thing you do is you start describing the setting and your cast members, and they have a whole list of cast members that you could actually choose from. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to use the cast members that I'm actually gonna use in my film. What they want you to do is they want you to upload 3 to 12 pictures, and it starts to create your actor. So I'm gonna go ahead and upload all the pictures to all my actors. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it takes about 15 to 20 minutes to get all of this done. So if it's taking a long time for you guys, don't be alarmed. This is totally normal. Once you're done and you have your actors created, you can start to give them a little bit of a profile. So you could talk about their age, you could describe their appearances, and that'll help you further modify the actors. For now, I'm gonna go into Travis Kilmer, and I'm gonna go ahead and modify what he's wearing. And I'm gonna just put navy blue prison jumpsuit, because we know that we have that exact outfit, and that's exactly what he's gonna wear in the wardrobe. And I kind of just wanna see it in the storyboard. Once you're done setting your cast and your setting, then you go into the script breakdown, and this gives you a chance to make any final adjustments. Then I'm gonna go ahead and hit next, and then you have an entire storyboard created for you within minutes. With this particular storyboard, I went through and I just quickly modified some of the images and some of the shots that they had there, because it felt like they added some extra shots, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I just cut out some of the shots that I felt like were unnecessary, and I just cleaned up the storyboard in all of the scenes, and I made sure that it resembled what the script was doing and what I saw in my mind. Now, the cool thing is that you can go to each one of these scenes and you can modify the description. I'm gonna take a minute and I'm just gonna go through the entire storyboard and just make sure the frames are a little bit closer to what it is that I want out of this. So now that my storyboard is closer to what I'm looking for, now we could take this a step further, and this is where things get really, really interesting. If you click on timeline, timeline gives you literally a timeline. So you could go through here and edit the storyboard and play it back like you're watching the movie. And this is something that is extremely usable, not just for you and your team, but also to allow you to have a better understanding of how your story and your pacing is going. I just quickly went through the timeline and I started editing some of these pieces here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and start putting together the storyboard in the way I feel like I should be seeing it. Taking this a step further, you could go over here to voiceover. What makes this really interesting, you can create a voiceover for each one of the characters. So I could go to the voice, I could go through any one of their narration voices that they already have on here for me, and I could use those to plug in the dialogue from the script and grab a voiceover. So now I'm not just editing images together. I could actually put a voiceover underneath these images and see how I want the pacing, how long I want each shot. This is just such a great tool to be able to not only create with, but also give to the rest of your team, so that way everybody on your team is on the same page. After I liked the way this whole thing moved, you could actually go through here and choose music. And you could search music through their library, or you could actually add and drag in your own music. But just for the sake of showing you this video, I'm gonna go ahead and choose a song from their library. I know that I'm gonna want something dark and mysterious, so I'm gonna choose dark and atmospheric. Take a look at the little clip that I actually created here.
Hey baby, I'm gonna be home late, but I'll take you to school in the morning, okay? Be good for grandma. I love you. Bye.
Not the best job for raising a family. Trust me, I've been at it long enough to know.
What keeps you going?
Moments like that.
Another creative way that we used LTX Studio was helping us create images that we actually used for set decor on this project. Let me give you guys an example. There was a scene where we had both of our detectives standing in front of an investigation board where they needed very specific assets, pictures, and to reference locations and to reference certain people that we just didn't have the time or money to go out and create. The only way that we could do this was by using AI. So we created fake newspaper articles, we created entire locations, and just cool evidence that these detectives were referencing throughout the film. And this was an absolute lifesaver because we only had a week of pre-production to prep all of these materials. Now, I want to take a second and show you guys how you could actually generate footage for your film using LTX Studio and their AI video generators. Now, LTX Studio has the ability to use their in-house video generator, but they also have the ability to use Google VO 2 and 3. Let's take a second and talk about the actual image that we need to create here. So we shot this scene from my short film, and pretty much we wanted to shoot one shot that was going to be shot from the exterior, shooting through the passenger seat window, but the majority of the shots were going to take place in the interior of the car. I really wanted to get an establishing shot of the car with, the rain that we created and all that stuff, but we just didn't have the time. This was the last scene of the night, and we didn't start shooting this until about 2:30 a.m. But we made the most of it, and we shot everything that we could in the time frame that we could. When we finished, it was like, okay, there's no way we're gonna get this wide shot. Now, the idea is that we wanted to show an establishing shot of this SUV that they're in, and we wanted to make sure it was wide enough and you felt the rain. The first prompt that I'm gonna plug into LTX is a wide shot of a black SUV in a dark alleyway with a mix of warm sodium vapor lighting and cool greenish tinted fluorescent bulbs. The camera is pointed towards the back of the SUV. And then we're gonna grab a couple of reference images, and I think some good reference images are gonna be things from like the Batman. I think that sodium vapor look and the kind of grittiness matches the kind of tone and feel that we are gonna go for. And we're gonna plug that into LTX Studio and see what we get. Now, right off the bat, if you look at this image right here, it's not bad. This is definitely a solid start. Now, let's try it again and plug in a picture that LTX gave me and see how that works. Okay, so I like the SUV a lot better in this picture, but the location to me just isn't really matching the style and tone that I wanted it to be. Again, I wanted it to be in a dark, gritty looking alleyway. Now, this is a little bit closer to what I want, and I could definitely see this working. Let's see what happens when you turn this image into a video. Okay, it's not bad. In my opinion, I can still feel like it's fake, and maybe it's because I know that it's not real, maybe because I know that it's AI, but it still feels a little bit fake to me. However, this is an amazing start. So I'm gonna take this into Premiere Pro, and the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to actually throw Dehancer on this. Now, for those of you who don't know what Dehancer is, it's a plugin that basically like a film emulation tool that makes things look a little bit more filmic. The issue with AI footage is that it looks very clean and almost fake, like almost plasticky. Now, when you put it into Dehancer, so you can go through here and choose things like your film stock, and you can add, a little bit of noise, just do a little bit more of a post processing that what they would do in film. And right away, you could tell the difference. If I turn dehancer off right now, you see that it's a lot more of a polished image and it just looks a little bit fake. But the second you put dehancer on, it starts to look like film. It starts to look a little bit closer to something that would resemble something that was shot on an actual camera. Now, there's just a couple little things that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna darken up the overall image using lumetri color, and then I'm going to darken some spots of the image. That way it forces the viewer's eyes to focus on the car and not so much paying attention to the overall setting. Okay, now we have something here, and I wouldn't say that this is perfect, and I definitely think that I need to spend more time tweaking this and really fine-tuning it. But for spending just about an hour trying to create this image, it's not bad at all. Now, another quick tip that I would tell you guys is that the reason why you might be able to get away with this AI footage, and I say I really hang on to you might, a really good trick is sandwiching an AI piece of footage between two real pieces of footage. But also, it's only going to be about 4 to 5 seconds max. Is it that big of a deal when the viewer might just be able to buy into it? To me, I think that's probably the only way right now that you can get away with using AI footage in real film. Now, if you guys are interested in using LTX Studio, I'm going to leave a link down below. And if you guys are interested in learning more about filmmaking, my team and I have been working on a course for a very long time. We're hoping to release this by this October, just a little over a month away. We're releasing this course. I'm going to drop a link down below. If you guys are interested, sign up to our email list and you'll be notified as soon as the course drops. There will be early bird pricing, and can't wait to share that with you guys. And if you guys have any questions about what we spoke about today or any debate about the AI and filmmaking, drop them in the comments down below. My name's Alex Zarfati, and I'll see you guys next week.